all about the culture of Ocala. What is it like living in Ocala? How are the people? Just let's dive into it, Chris.
I love the culture of Ocala, and let me tell you why. It's super laid back. It's been such a controversial thing that it's been so laid back, especially in times like COVID. I mean, you look at some of the areas in this country that were shut down and for how long they were shut down for and how long everyone was like their hands were tied, they were restricted, they couldn't go to work and open up their place of business. They couldn't eat at restaurants. And Ocala seriously went through, I think it was like 90 days or less where we were shut down. And it was like everywhere in the country was shut down hardcore. And I remember riding through downtown on my bicycle. Like it was like a ghost town. I would go on bike rides and just like ride up and down the middle of the streets just because I could, it was like being on an empty movie set. It was cool. But we opened up almost immediately because our local government saw, this is stupid. So they thought it was important to keep the economy going here. And so they instantly lifted the restrictions. And, since early 2020, we've been living like COVID hasn't happened, and some people agree with it. Some people don't, but it's just super laid back, and that's just kind of been the culture of Ocala overall, is that, we're super laid back. We don't bother you if you don't bother us. And you can find that at all parts of the county. Obviously in the central part of Marion County, you have like Ocala, the downtown square, all that fun stuff. It's kind of city life, but not super city life. It's a little bit more fast paced, but it's still chill. The people downtown, most of them are local business owners. They're super friendly. It's all about hospitality and giving people a good time. And then you get into places like Bellevue, Summerfield, where you get a little bit more of a southern feel, And I've had times where I broke down in places like that, and it's not long before someone stops to help you out. I found that at all parts in the county, but especially where you get like the more like down to earth southern folk. Because Ocala, you'll get a mix of them, downtown. But of course, the people who are like southern, they don't want to live in the city. It's just not how they feel. They want to have privacy. They want to have acreage. They want to have property. And, for that reason, you're talking about either the more south side or the west side of the county. It's awesome. It's very warm. The people here are very warm and loving. And yeah, that's something I've always loved about it is this is very much a family oriented, warm, loving community.
That's great. Let's talk about like neighbors. So like, I guess everywhere is different in terms of depending where you are in the world. If people talk to the neighbors, some people just like ignore them. What's the feel like in Ocala for you?
Man, it's my current neighborhood is absolutely the best place I've ever lived. My neighbors, most of them are retired military. I have a retired law enforcement across the street from me. One of my neighbors is he's a retired medical examiner. So he'd tell me crazy stories about, people that he'd meet and, cases that he'd get. And the people around us, everyone's on a first name basis and everyone just kind of stays out of each other's business. Every once in a while, my neighbors, they'll come knock on our door and they'll just like bring us food just for the heck of it. And, we'll do the same for them. And it's cool. It's such a mellow neighborhood. I do live in an HOA and I do also have a drum set and we still live here.
I was like, how's that work? How's that working out?
I've never had a complaint. Well, no. I had one complaint, and that was because I was playing the drums as loud as possible just before midnight on New Year's Eve. The neighbors had bombs going off in the air, you know what I mean? So I just kind of disregarded that,
It's a free for all for that 1 hour.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, and it was on a Friday night too. I'm like, you're retired, man. You ain't got to be to work in the morning. You'll be okay. And so it's such a chill place. They're not really heavy with enforcing anything in our neighborhood, but everyone has that understood, be respectful, don't let your lawn get crazy overgrown, don't let your fence fall apart, don't trash your lawn, that kind of stuff, just basic respect. And I love it. Most of the people who are here, because most people retire and then move down south, and this is a place where most of them end up at. And it's so cool, man. People, you know, they're chill. They got great stories. They've knocked stuff off their bucket list. They have adventures to share with you. And yeah, I love meeting new people, especially here in Ocala, where it's so laid back. You know, it's so laid back. I've been to places like, I like Gainesville, but Gainesville is it's a college town. It's more fast paced. It's more, the culture there is a little bit different. The culture there reminds me a little bit more of like a Washington State culture. You know, it's different idealisms and all that, and that's great. It's just, you know, you don't feel as relaxed there. That's how I am anyways. Kind of the same thing with Tampa. You know, people are a little bit more fast paced, and I get it, you know, but here you get to enjoy life, and you know, there's not unnecessary pressure being put on you from, you know, your immediate society. I like it.
That's good. So I'm curious about, you mentioned New Year's Eve. What are the holidays, you know, like 4th of July, you know, New Year's Eve, different, do you guys have like block parties or anything like that? I'm not sure your neighborhood, like I guess specifically in your neighborhood.
Halloween is crazy here. Halloween is absolutely nuts. I think we're one of the top rated neighborhoods as far as trick-or-treaters go. I know Four Ranch is number one out on the west side of town, but I think we're either 2 or 3 on that list. But it's crazy. The amount of trick-or-treaters that come through here is insane. And we have some neighbors that, depending on what holiday it is, they're just going above and beyond to decorate their lawns. It's like those Christmas movies where you always have that one neighbor where they're like, and it just like, you know. Yeah, we have neighbors like that, and it's really cool because they'll spend 3 or 4 days putting up decorations and on their lawn and on their roof, and, you know, automated things that move by themselves. It's like a Disney / mini Las Vegas walking past their house, you know. You know, so it's just a warm feeling that you get coming through here. But yeah, especially Halloween, that's the craziest. That's where you're not going to be able to drive your car through here. And it's, I mean, you know, you got too many people walking in the street, and, you know, the neighbors are so laid back that it's just expected. We just had our first Halloween here last October, and we were shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that this many people even knew about our neighborhood, because we have so few houses here. This is not a big neighborhood at all, but it was packed. It was crazy.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah, that's something that they go all out for. Yeah, as far as block parties, not really.
Not yet. Not yet.
But I mean, yeah, not yet. Yeah, if you're looking for something like that, that's more like the downtown square. They'll do events where they shut down the road and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool. You know, you'll catch the Christmas parade or light up Ocala. There's a lot to be seen around that time, so it's cool.
Nice, love that. Let us know if you guys have any questions about the culture of Ocala in the comments. We are curious about any other questions we can answer for you guys. So.
What's up, guys? Chris the Ocala Realtor here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out the next one, and don't forget to subscribe.